Do you like being big spoon or little spoon?
I hate being big spoon.
Really?
Usually I'm like the more like
Your
take
baby.
charge type personality, but when it comes to cuddling, big baby energy.
She's baby spoon.
I am baby spoon.
I like to like latch on like one of those toy monkeys with the
Your big spoon energy?
with the Velcro hands.
Yeah.
Like
And
yeah.
you just like,
You know what I'm talking about? As a
Yeah.
kid, the Velcro hand monkeys. That's me. Just
wait,
I
when you
Velcro
cuddle,
on.
is it face to face?
No.
Okay, good. 'Cause that's kind of psycho.
Sometimes I do, but it lasts for like
2 seconds. Yeah,
yeah.
not like a snuggle sesh.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We're not sleeping like this. But if I'm being real, I don't really snuggle that often. I'm not a cuddler.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe that's why I'm more in the monkey mode because
Yeah.
it's funny.
Because you can laugh about it
Yeah.
and not take it seriously.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to the Fuzzy Pod.
Welcome back to another episode.
We are back with another The Movies That Shaped Us holiday edition. And Maddie, what movie are we deep diving today?
Ah!
Best intro
Home
ever.
Alone.
Home Alone, yes. Sorry, I talked over you. I was admiring your intro with the face.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Audio listeners love that.
They really did. But we are going to be talking about Home Alone today. And when we were deciding what movies to watch, we had like come up with a few ideas. And to be honest, I had already watched Home Alone, so it was perfect.
Yeah, she was like, I've already done my homework for
I
this
was like,
one.
I watched it last night, so yes.
Yes, this is the movie we're going to do. We're actually going to be doing 2 movies for
This
the holiday season. But we're kicking things off with, Home Alone today. And there are so many nostalgic holiday movies. It really was hard narrowing it down. But it is funny that the 2 movies that we chose.
It's a little spoiler you're about to throw out there for the next one.
I guess so. You can look up some other like holiday movies by this person. Both happen to be John Hughes movies.
Facts.
Which was I thought that was so funny that we unintentionally did that.
Which I feel like makes sense for us because I feel like we did grow up really enjoying like John Hughes films.
100%. Like
So,
Pretty in Pink was one of my
I'm not
favorite.
surprised.
Wait, John Hughes did Pretty in Pink too, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't know why
Pretty
I
in
doubted
Pink,
that for a
16
second.
Candles, Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller.
So many
many.
iconic 80s
Yeah.
movies. So I'm excited to get into this. We have lots of thoughts, but if you need a refresher on Home Alone and what it's about, Maddie has that for you.
Covered. All right. So if you've never seen Home Alone, you're lying. But
Literally during the holiday season, it's just playing everywhere too. It's in the
you
background.
can't avoid it. But a little summary. So Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, which we should point out he just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes.
So big congrats to him for that. Is an 8-year-old kid who acts out the night before his family leaves for their trip to Paris for the holidays.
Which, bougie.
It's because... No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I know he has family that lives in Paris, but still, they fly first class. We can get into that in a second.
The parents do,
Yeah.
yeah. His mom, played by the legendary Catherine O'Hara, sends him up to the attic to sleep for the night, where he wishes his whole family would disappear. After the family scrambles to get to the airport, they mistakenly leave Kevin behind. When Kevin wakes up to find an empty house, he assumes his wish came true. I made my family disappear. Kevin quickly realizes that his dream is now a nightmare when he discovers 2 con men intend on robbing his family home. He then has to figure out, as the man of the house, how he is going to protect his home.
First of all, can we talk about the fact that not only is it a John Hughes film, but also that John Williams does the music for this movie? I forgot
Iconic.
about that.
I forgot about
so
that
many
too.
icons. Okay, Maddie also threw up a little money sign because, yes, like one of the opening shots, we get to see the house where Kevin and his family resides. And
It's just giving wealth.
it's giving wealth.
They
it's
have like
giving money.
statues in the yard. Like, it's just it's a giant house.
Everything's pristine. It's all decorated and decked out for the holidays. Later on, the mom mentions the fact that she has a Rolex watch on.
They're dripping.
First class
And
tickets
wealth.
to Paris. Yeah. So this family is very rich.
It's also fun, like, seeing how they, like, decorated the house for the movie because everything is red and green.
Yes. I was noticing that.
I think it's just supposed to like make it feel like Christmas.
Yeah. It just kind of is the epitome of a cozy Christmas home.
Yes.
Even like the primary bedroom where Kevin resides while the family is gone. Like his parents' room is all decked out. Yeah.
Bedding's all red.
The
like,
bedding's all red.
even
They
like the
have, like,
wallpapers, I feel like
Yes.
have like red and green in them. Like they just like fully decked out this like set to just like, or the house to feel
so Christmassy.
Yeah.
Which, side note, I loved the tiled countertops in the kitchen. Did you observe those too?
The kitchen was kind of a vibe.
I was just like taking notes and I was like, tile countertops. I like. Kind of reminds me of some like the almost like more Spanish style homes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of unexpected in like their more traditional
like suburban
home that they had. Yeah. Okay. I just wrote down, I love how sassy Kevin is. Our lead protagonist, Kevin, is very sassy. One of like the earliest lines he has, there's chaos in the house, all the family's over the night before they're about to leave out of town.
Yeah, all the extended families there.
You got all these cousins. I mean, Kevin comes from a family of 5 kids already.
Yeah.
Aunts and uncles. And the house is just, there's chaos everywhere. And in the middle of it, while the family's packing, Kevin is trying to figure out, how to pack a suitcase.
He's an 8-year-old boy.
He's an 8-year-old boy who's never packed for himself before. And all of a sudden, I guess his family's expecting him to do that. And I bring that up because he's in his mom's room and he's talking to her. And he ends up like laying on her stuff and she's getting frustrated. But she's like on the phone. And he's like, hang up the phone and make me, why don't ya? And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that is sassy. But also like, I get it. Like this, already realized this kid. Yes.
Yes, this kid. They keep like painting him. And even like whenever you like look up this like the like descriptions and stuff of the movie, like they're like this bratty kid.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, yes, maybe he is bratty. Like he is sassy. Like there's no denying that. But look at his surroundings. He is clearly just begging for attention.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone is so rude to him.
Dude, I'm like, this is literally like, he is a product of his environment.
Yes.
Because his mom is ignoring him so that he's being sassy with her. She doesn't even really care enough to even engage with his sassy comment. She just kind of rolls her eyes at him and he moves along. Then he goes to ask his siblings for help packing his suitcase. And they're like basically calling him an idiot.
Yeah, they're like, you dummy, you're an 8-year-old. Figure it out. You should know how to pack for a European vacation.
Haven't you ever been to Paris before? You want cultured swine? Don't you know how to look up what the weather is?
Oh,
also, probably way more complicated than today because 8-year-olds now probably just have their cell phones to look up the weather.
Exactly. They're like, how to pack for Europe vacation, Christmas time.
And amongst the chaos, one of our con men are already there surveying the property.
Pretending to be a cop.
Pretending to be a police officer. So he's standing in the foyer trying to get someone's attention so that he can get some information about where they're going.
How is a cop going to be just standing in your freaking living room and no one's saying anything?
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know how chaotic this house was being painted as, because everyone was running around. No one was noticing this man. But I was like, who let him in?
I know.
How did he just walk in? It starts off with him just there.
He's just there, yeah. And that's actually like a point that I wrote down I was laughing at because when the dad finally talks to the cop, the fake cop, he's like, oh, like we just wanted to make sure like what kind of security you have for your home while you're away. And he was like, well, we lock our doors and our lights are on timers. There's not much else you can do.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess they didn't have security systems back then.
Yeah, I literally wrote that down because I was like, I guess what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm like, now we have like cameras and
so many things in this
alarm
movie.
systems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so many things in this movie could be solved with technology.
We're like, listen,
if Kevin had a cell phone, because one of the reasons I guess we'll get to later is like they have trouble reaching him is because the phone lines are down.
Yes, which is why they end up leaving him actually, is because their alarm clocks get messed up and so it doesn't wake them up. And so then they leave him behind.
Yeah, I guess that's important. Yeah, all power went out, messing up phone lines, alarm clocks. And so in the hustle and bustle of trying to get to the airport, and again, there's like 15 of them, they do a head count wrong because there's a neighbor kid just hanging out while they're all trying to leave.
Bring me back something French.
And so one of the cousins is counting up the kids and counts the back of the head
neighbor,
of the neighbor kid as Kevin. And that's how he ends up getting left behind. So Kevin, again, like you said earlier, wakes up and he thinks that his family is is gone, like,
Like, that
officially
he
gone, like,
legit
he wished
wished
them
them
away,
away,
yeah.
which I just love that concept. That he felt like he had that power.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay,
"Whoa."
before we skip ahead, I just need to point out a few things from the night of the chaos, right?
Yes.
Right before, they all go to bed. Kevin gets sent up to the attic, which is why he gets left behind because they forget that he was up there.
Yeah, also, they put him in the attic. I mean, it's a nice attic with, like, a bed and everything, but still, like, this kid, I swear, is like, no attention is paid to him, which is funny because it's giving middle child, but he's supposed to be the baby
The
of the
baby,
family.
yeah,
But
which is
everyone,
so funny.
like, hates him.
I wanted to point out the fact that when they're eating their pizza,
Yeah.
the mom is like, "Everyone drink milk."
Yeah. What the I took that note too. I'm like, "Who is drinking a giant glass of milk with their pizza?"
Which is the reason I brought this up is because I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on the podcast before. And I actually talked with my in-laws about this because, as you know, my husband grew up drinking milk with his dinner.
Yes. Every dinner?
And
Every dinner?
yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
was like an option.
Okay, continue.
It was like, do you want milk with your dinner?
Yeah.
Like with your spaghetti?
Mhm.
Is that what you want?
Mhm.
We were having the discussion of how is that like something that everyone does? And it's kind of like 50-50, honestly. And I had told them I was laughing because I thought it was only a thing in movies. Because it was something I saw in
Yes.
movies, like Home Alone.
Drink your milk with your
Yeah.
pizza.
And so when I saw that, it just made me laugh because I was like, see, that's where I got it from. It doesn't seem real to me. Because I didn't grow up doing that,
Yeah.
nor did I have friends who grew up drinking milk with dinner.
No. No. Not at
I
all.
can't name a single one.
I would have, like, we talked about it before, but milk with, like, cookies, and that's about it.
Well, we just also hated milk, so.
Yeah. And because I wouldn't even really drink the milk. I
The
would dip the cookie and
idea
that's it.
of eating like a pizza
Heavy
with
cheese, sauce,
cheese,
thick bread.
sauce, bread with milk? Jail.
What's so funny, though, about them having milk at dinner is it just added to the chaos. So Kevin gets in a fight with his oldest brother, Buzz, who is also just the worst. He's just like this little pervert who just like
Yeah, he's like talking to one of the cousins. He's like, oh, like they have nude beaches, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, it's winter.
He's like, yeah, but like the French girls, do they shave their armpits or like what? What's their deal? And he just has like a little. We end up discovering he has like his hidden box of like
His life
fireworks
savings.
and life savings and Playboy
Which is like
magazines.
$3.
A little BB gun. I'm like, who is this man? Okay, who is this child? So Buzz, his older brother, ends up eating like all of the cheese pizza. And Kevin was like, that's the only pizza I like, which I relate to Kevin on that.
Amen, Kevin.
I don't like pepperoni. I'm not here for pepperoni. So he gets in a fight with his brother. And I'm like, okay, your brother's 8. You're supposed to be what, 13 at least? Like, why are you engaging like in this way with this 8-year-old? Like, he ends up like shoving him and Kevin shoves him back. Or maybe Kevin just shoves him first because I also relate to Kevin in this way of everyone poking you constantly and then you holding it all together and then exploding.
But was Kevin ever holding it all together?
You know what? No. But I was like, dude, that was me as a kid sometimes. So he like goes off on his brother and while they're like fighting, the milk just goes everywhere. And it's just like all in the pizza. And I was like,
As
what a
it
mess.
should.
And I was like, this is why you shouldn't have had milk. Like
This
if you
is
had
why
water.
you shouldn't drink milk with your pizza. And that's when the iconic line
Yes.
from the uncle, look what you did, you little jerk.
That line is so funny.
Just the idea of a grown man
Yes.
telling an 8-year-old child that he's like calling him a jerk. Could you imagine?
No, it's so funny watching it back as an adult, which I've seen as an adult, but like watching it with the intention of like really paying attention to like the details and everything. I'm like, that doesn't fly. Like you are the adult in this situation. Why are you talking like a child? But also this line is iconic and I will be quoting it all the time.
We do quote it all the time.
Look what you did, you little
Look what
jerk.
you did, you little jerk.
Me to my dog after he ripped up my entire couch.
Or whenever they splashed water all over us the other day.
Yes.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Right before we were about to film, they like jumped in a water bowl and it like splashed up by me and Maddie. We're like, what the?
Oh my gosh. Also, I wrote down, like, his parents are just chill with the uncle calling their kid a jerk.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Yeah, jerk, go upstairs, you jerk. Everyone hates you."
Yeah, you big jerk.
Poor Kevin.
I also wrote down that Kevin just because he is sassy, like you said, like
Yeah.
he is kind of bratty. He calls his mom a dummy.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh,
I'm already upstairs, you dummy.
I did write that down. Never mind, it was later in my
I'm
notes.
already upstairs.
I have to mention the fact too, I love that one of the other McCulkin brothers is in it. Kieran McCulkin plays cousin Fuller. He drinks-
Culkin.
Is that what I said? McCulkey. Kieran McCulkey.
No.
What? What's his name? What's their names?
Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, Culkin!
Kieran McCulkin.
I just tried to Mario Brothers him.
You really did.
Kieran Culkin.
Although, a fun fact, apparently Macaulay Culkin, like on his website a few years ago, did a poll of what he should change his middle name to. And what one was Macaulay Culkin, so he legally changed his name to Macaulay Culkin.
That's so funny.
Also,
So
I hope
sorry.
I'm saying his name right.
I think so. So
Macaulay.
Kieran Culkin plays Fuller, one of Kevin's cousins. And I just thought it was fun that his brother was in the movie.
Fuller's the one that Kevin protests because he doesn't want to share a bed with him. They're trying to make them, like, since they, everyone's there, so they're having to, like, share space. He's like, oh, I don't want to share a bed with Fuller. He wets the bed. And then it just shows him drinking a Pepsi. And the parents are like, slow down with that Pepsi, Fuller. And then just the face he makes.
The biggest smile he
While
looks
he's
over.
drinking this Pepsi.
Icon.
See, that's a normal kid drinking Pepsi with his pizza.
Yeah, honestly, soda and pizza, great combo. Can I tell you a quote that stuck out to me too?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Right before he's like, I think, sent up to his room, he's like, "This house is so full of people it makes me sick. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone."
Did you hear me? I'm living alone.
I was like, I feel that. I feel that.
All right, now that we've quoted the entire first 2 minutes of the film, let's jump ahead to when they're finally, family makes it to their flight.
Yes.
Barely. Just within a nick of time.
I don't think there was like security back then.
No, I
either.
don't think so.
So they
And
just had to run on.
they didn't scan their tickets. They just kind of handed them the papers.
I was like, whoa, times haven't changed. You
Because
would not
now,
make it with 45 minutes.
also nowadays, you have to hold your own ticket, even if you're like a kid.
Yeah.
That can like walk on, like if you're a kid above the age of 2, I guess, like you have to hold your
Hold it.
ticket. If it were today, though, they would have noticed that he was gone, is my point.
Yeah. Because they would have had to like scan all the names.
Yeah. So they're on the flight, and the mom just keeps saying, like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like some things, did we turn off the lights? Did we lock the doors? Did we close the garage door?
And her
the dad-
husband's like trying to reassure her.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's fine. And he goes, oh, that's it. I forgot to close the garage door. And she's like, no, that's not it. And then she's
Mama
like,
knows.
Kevin!
Yeah, she just like
All
just sits
right.
there for a second and just screams out his name when she realizes.
And my favorite part of this is that they're trying to comfort her, right? So it's like the mom, the dad, and the aunt and uncle are all in first class. The kids are back in economy. And the dad just goes, well, if it makes you feel any better, I left my reading glasses at home.
The uncle.
No, the dad says that.
No, it's the uncle.
Oh, is it?
It's the same uncle that said, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
Oh, I thought it was the dad.
Pretty sure it was the uncle because the uncle, I was just like, this guy is...
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
No.
It's one of the men.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. But I just think it's so funny that that's like their comparison. They're like, if it makes you feel any better.
Well, it makes sense too because the uncle seemingly like hates Kevin.
Yeah.
So he's like, I left my glasses. It's fine. Glasses? A child?
Same thing.
Same thing. Cut to Kevin once he's already kind of accepted the fact that his family has disappeared. He just goes into like a full-on rager at the house. He's jumping on the bed. He's eating popcorn.
What does he say? There's
I
like
don't
something
remember.
he yells. You better come and stop me.
Oh yeah, he's like, come stop me. I'm basically doing all the things I'm never allowed to do.
He's
And
just having a ball of a time.
I just love too that like it cuts to him. He's in his brother's room, and you're like, why does his older brother Buzz have a gun on the wall? And then you realize it's like a BB gun, but still, I was like, what is this kid? And then fast forward to him that evening, and honestly, he's having quite a night. It's kind of a dream Friday night for me. He's eating an ice cream sundae for dinner in front of the TV. And I was just like, you know what? This is a vibe.
That's what it looks like when Ted has his game nights every Wednesday with the boys, and I'm just watching my trash reality TV and eating ice cream in bed. That's basically, I am Kevin in those moments.
Yes. Cut to see the burglars, the con men, as they're getting ready to burglar. And they're hitting some other houses on the street before they get to Kevin's house. And I just wrote down I love how cartoonish they are, like their characters.
Yeah, 100%.
Just so over the top. They literally have like matching crowbars at one point and they clink them like glasses.
Yeah.
I'm like
us if we were con men.
Yeah, we were burglars.
We were robbing houses.
All right, let's go steal some stuff. Clink. They're so cartoonish and over the top, and I kind of love that.
It's so good.
Oh, we forgot kind of like a key detail. There's this storyline throughout where it starts off with Buzz, the older brother, telling Kevin and one of the cousins a scary story, a rumor about their next door neighbor who's this old man. And he's outside
Marley or something.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's out shoveling snow. The old man is. And the brother's like, they say that he killed his whole family with that shovel. And that, that bin he has with them with the salt, like, is where he keeps his victims. And he, like, makes up this whole thing. And as an older sibling, I definitely did stuff like that. I know I did. I made up so many, like, lies and stories to scare you about things, which is awful.
I know.
I made up fake diseases.
She told me I had diseases.
Which is terrible. So I was like watching Buzz do that and I was like, oh, that's such an older sibling thing to do. Like, that is something I definitely did. So then, Kevin finds himself afraid of
still
this.
does that. No, I'm just kidding.
She still makes up things. I do that all the time. Yeah. Kevin finds himself like running into this like old man throughout the entire movie. But it's funny because at one point he decides, you know what? I'm not going to be scared.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yep. And he steps outside of the house and he's like, he announces, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. Because there's a few things, you got the con men, you got the next door neighbor, and the basement. He's scared of the basement and specifically the furnace in the basement.
Which honestly, fair.
Same, yeah. I've never lived in a house with a basement, but I don't think I'd go down very, very often.
If it's unfinished, it's scary. If it's finished, they're not scary.
Yeah, that makes sense because it feels more just like an additional room.
But also, it depends on the type of basement because certain basements, like my in-laws, have like a door to the outside.
Oh, yes.
In
yes,
the
yes,
basement.
yes, yes.
So it's kind of like
Cooper's childhood home had one of those too.
Yeah. So like you can go access like the yard.
Yeah, so
still. It doesn't really feel like a basement, but it's also finished.
That's just a 3-story home.
At that point, just call it what it is. Just call it what it is. Wait, the McAllisters have a 4-story home.
If you think about it.
An attic? Because they can access the basement.
Oh, yeah.
They remember those stairs?
Yes, from the back.
The con men go down.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, because the attic is all like finished out. It's not like a regular attic. It's a cool attic.
They're just dripping in wealth.
I wrote down everything shower. Have you ever heard of this concept?
Yes, of course.
I was like, Kevin did an everything shower.
He really did.
The next morning.
We all have to treat ourselves.
We do.
Oh my gosh, I love when he goes to the store by himself and he's like checking out and like the cashier, she's kind of like, what's this like child doing?
Yeah.
And he just like, he has like the little army men toy.
Yeah.
And he's like reading his magazine and he's like, for the kids.
He's trying to talk like a grown-up. It's so funny. He's like, I got this coupon from the newspaper this morning.
Oh, hang on, I have a coupon for that.
But then the lady starts asking him so many questions. She's like, where are your parents? Where are they at? She's like, where do you live? And he's like, I can't tell you that. She's like, why not?
You're a stranger.
I'm like, yeah. She's like, fair.
Can't argue with that.
But before he goes on that errand, he does his first errand for a smaller run of things. He doesn't
Yeah.
go to get, like, the eggs and the milk and all that. He just goes to get a toothbrush because
Mhm.
all of a sudden he's missing a toothbrush, I guess? I don't know.
Or he never had one because his parents were neglecting him.
Probably that, and he's trying to get his life together now, okay? He partied
He's
hard day
doing his
1.
everything
Yeah.
shower. He's getting his teeth figured out,
Yeah.
all that health, personal care,
Yeah.
He's getting his life together.
Yeah, he's the man of the house now.
Yeah.
He's an adult now.
He's gotta be responsible.
But he ends up accidentally stealing the toothbrush because he sees the old man in the store and gets so scared that he runs out. And the next thing you know, one of the clerks from the place he stole from is yelling, "Shoplifter!" And then he ends up in a police chase. This kid is being chased by a police officer over an ice rink and through snow.
Over a 90-cent or probably 50-cent toothbrush at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, I was just like, why are we pursuing an 8-year-old
An 8-year-old boy
with a
with
for
a
a toothbrush? Like, no, he
Hmm.
shouldn't have stole it, but also it was just I was like, wow, that's a lot for a toothbrush. The
Drama.
drama. I did have this one note of why do I relate to Kevin climbing a shelf to reach for something when he breaks everything in his brother's room because he's trying to climb to the top shelf to
We all
grab
did it.
something in his brother's room.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm not an 8-year-old little boy that's home alone, but sometimes when I'm home alone and Cooper's not here, I have to also climb the shelf.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay, let's jump back to what the parents are doing because I think we need to recognize that as soon as they get off the plane, the parents are like making phone calls, right? They're
Yes.
trying to figure out, okay, we got to call the cops, we got to call the neighbors, we got to try to figure out how to get a hold of our kid, but we cannot call him because the phone lines are going to be down.
Yes.
I just wrote down, why are the cops like 0% concerned
Oh,
with the
no
fact
concern.
that an 8-year-old is home alone?
No. Literally, they could not be bothered. They're talking to the police department. The police department is basically bouncing their calls around because they don't want to deal with it. They're like, it's not that important. It's not that important.
One of the dispatch ladies was like, she sounds hysterical or something like
Yeah!
that.
This woman is hysterical, basically.
She's like, you handle it.
Yeah. They used a different term, but
Yeah,
it was
what did they
basically
say?
not hyper or something.
Yeah, no, I think it was hyper.
Yeah.
Hyper on line 1.
Yeah. I'm like,
dang.
someone's child was left behind. Also, I'm surprised, like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, child neglect. Like,
For real. For real.
like, she wasn't getting questioned or in trouble.
Yes.
But they finally, like, are like, okay, fine.
We'll go do a check.
And so the police go by to check and nothing happens because, of course.
They literally do the bare minimum. They knock on the door and they're like, well, it seems like no one's home. And it's like, if you're a child, are you going to answer the door
No.
when the police are pounding on the door?
No.
Probably not. You got to use some force and get in there and make sure that kid's okay.
He's going to hide under the blankets like he did and just be like, wait it out. Oh my gosh. And you kind of see like how clever Kevin is throughout because at one point, whenever he's walking home from the store and
He recognizes
yes, he recognizes
that
these
a
guys are
van
watching
is
him.
watching him. Yeah.
And so instead of walking home, he walks to a local church and hides in the nativity scene.
Yes. Iconic. I like how they're like driving by and they're like, maybe he went to the church. And then they were like, we're not going in there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like they're going to burn or something. What the heck?
The way they say it. Well, I'm not going in there.
We have to talk about one of the most iconic scenes, though, where Kevin gets really clever when it comes to ordering a pizza. He ends up using this old-timey movie that he's definitely not supposed to be watching, this old mobster movie, and times it to where he can have a conversation
With the
pizza
delivery,
man.
yeah. Pizza delivery guy.
And one of the most like famous lines from the movie is "Keep the change, you
You
filthy animal," and that comes from this scene. Well, it ends up happening like twice actually that he uses this movie, and I think one of the other quotes, or maybe he's watching like a series of these mobster movies because one of the other quotes is like, does he say Merry Christmas, you filthy animal? Or is it always keep the change, you filthy animal?
I'm pretty sure it's always keep the change, you filthy
Yeah.
animal.
Oh, they do.
Or in the second one?
In the second
Yeah,
one.
the second
It's in
one.
the second one.
Yeah, because he uses that again. I remember that.
Did that also give you throwbacks to when we were kids and we'd be home alone, like, I say Home Alone. Like our parents went out for a date night and it was the two of us. And I might have been like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So I was like quite a bit older than Kevin was. And you would have been about Kevin's age. When it would just be the two of us and we'd order a pizza, I would like do things that Kevin would do and be like, be right there, Dad.
I thought you were going to say that you made me do everything because you used to do that too.
That's I make you call the pizza in.
Yeah.
But like when I went to answer it, I'd be like, yeah, Dad. I'm grabbing the pizza you ordered. Be right there.
I'll get your beer on the way.
Do you remember me doing something like that? Or pretending to be a dog?
Yeah.
I bring this up because I wonder if I got that kind of concept
You
from
probably
watching Home Alone.
You probably did. Also, another one of the most like iconic moments from that is when he does recognize, oh my gosh, like these con men like are targeting my house.
Yeah, these burglars are gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna come and like try to rob my house. So I gotta make it look like there's like a party going on here. And so he sets up this entire scene.
Yes.
And I just wrote down like, where did he get all these mannequins?
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. Did you notice throughout the movie that maybe one of them is a designer or something? Because they had lots of sewing machines
Oh,
and
really?
fabrics.
Like in the basement?
Yeah. And then like also in the parents' bedroom at one point. I think there was like some
they
stuff.
have to be because he has all these mannequins.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe the mom's a designer or something like that.
We don't know anything about the parents.
No, like what they do.
Yeah.
No, so
we just know it's giving wealth.
that's what I kind of connected this time.
Like the cutouts make sense.
Yeah.
But the mannequins?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like we all had like cardboard cutouts of like characters or people. Like that was like a thing.
Yes.
People still buy those?
Cardboard cutouts?
Yeah.
Within the last year, I got one for a friend, but I got it at like a Goodwill. It was a $5 Zac Efron in great
That's
condition.
hilarious.
And I was like, this is too good to pass up. This person I know loves Zac Efron.
That's
and
hilarious.
I know that his wife had been looking for one for him. But they were like $60. And she's like, I don't know if it's like a $60 joke, but she's like, maybe one day. And I was like, I texted her and I was like, I just found one for $5. I'm
okay, but
grabbing
see,
it
it was at Goodwill.
Yeah.
I don't know if people still buy them.
Like fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh out the box.
We make stand-ins for the Fuzzy Pod for whenever one of us is out of town.
Oh
and
my
we can do
gosh.
it remotely.
That's hilarious.
I wrote down that White Christmas is such an iconic Christmas song. And I love that it's in so many holiday movies I love. But the scene of him lip syncing it in the bathroom doing his second everything shower. It's just
so good.
so good. I was like, this Christmas song is so
even
good.
down to like the bathroom and like the towels are like Christmas.
Yeah, they're like green.
Yeah.
You're so right. All the tones are green and red.
Uh-huh.
So whenever the parents start their journey home, the mom ends up kind of like going through this like trains, planes, and automobiles kind of situation where I think like snow ends up like stopping one of her flights or she can't get on this flight home.
Like everything's like booked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she ends up like hopping into this van with like a band who's going to be
Polka.
traveling. Yeah, a polka band. And the lead like guy in the band is played by John Candy.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which like makes sense like cuz I think he's done other like John Hughes films, I believe.
Mhm. I know. I just love that little cameo though.
Yeah, I know.
And I love how he's like, maybe you've heard of us, polka polka. And she's just like staring at it.
She's like, never in my life, no. There's like a time too, he's trying to console her on the trip about like how he left his kid at a funeral home one time when they went to a family funeral and left him there all day. And then they came back and he was like, my kid was like so distraught. Didn't talk for 6 to 7 weeks. He's like, but your kid will be fine. She's like, this is not helping. Why are you telling me this? What is this?
Oh, my goodness.
Something I find really interesting, which you may already know this, but when Kevin ends up setting up booby traps throughout his entire house the night he knows that the burglars are going to come.
Yes.
Like
So basically, it all comes to a head because he finds out that the burglars know that he's there.
Yes,
but
and
they're
know
like,
that he's home alone.
he's just a little snot-nosed kid. We're not gonna pass up this opportunity.
Yeah, he's like, we're not going to let this 8-year-old stop us. We're still going to like hit this house. And so Kevin's like, you know what? I want to protect my house. Booby traps the whole thing. Did you know that is actually illegal to do? That if you booby trap your house, that the burglars could sue you
Question.
for getting like for damages.
Why would I know that? She's like, You may already know this.
I don't know. I heard it
Wow.
I heard it before and I looked it up and sure enough.
Is that on a state by state cases, depending on where you live, or is that everywhere?
I think it might be federal.
How is that fair?
So it needs to be seen. It can't be sneaky. They need to know that whatever.
Okay, but if you put something on the stairs, something slick that you could see, does that count as a booby trap?
You will need to consult a lawyer.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to take down all my booby traps in my house.
She's like, oh dang, I have so many.
The paint cans, the trip wires, the hot doorknob.
Which all those things you mentioned, those are some of the booby traps that he sets for them. First of all, how did they not die? How did the burglars not die?
There's the way that first of all, the paint cans, that could take somebody out.
Yes.
The slipping down the stairs, that
paint
could
can
take
to the
somebody
face,
out.
by the way.
Yeah.
BB gun to the balls.
All right, that wouldn't kill a man.
I'm not saying kill him, but why didn't they give up then? That was the first thing that happened.
Would you give up if you knew it was an 8-year-old doing all of it?
Oh, well, I don't think I'd find myself in that situation to begin with, but
times get desperate, Megan.
They fall down the icy stairs.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned he burns his hand on the doorknob. One of them gets an iron to the face.
Yes.
One of them, though, gets flame torched. Flame torched on the head. And you're still going to pursue this kid? One of the burglars comes in through the window, steps on a bunch of ornaments with bare feet.
Do you know the burglars' names?
Get Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And is Murray the tall one or the short one?
The tall one.
So we have Murray and Bill. No, Bob. What's his name?
Hang on, I gotta fact check myself, but no, I'm actually wrong.
No one's a Murray?
No one's Murray.
Is there a Murph?
It is an M name.
Okay. Marv.
Yes.
Marv is the tall one.
And then Murray is kind of close, but
Harry.
it's not.
Harry and Marv.
Yes.
Harry?
So Harry's the short one.
Yeah.
And then Marv's the tall one.
Harry and Marv. This is good. I need to sharpen up on trivia.
Short King.
So Harry
Sorry,
and Marv.
we just kept calling them the burglars. I felt like
you're like, I want to put some respect on their names. On the wet bandits.
On the wet bandits. He's like, did you leave the water running again? Stop doing that.
It's our calling
card.
But I love how that comes back later. So Harry and Marv should be dead at this point.
They should be very dead.
They should be very dead. But Kevin ends up outsmarting them, leading him to their neighbor's house where the police are waiting for them. And they end up, basically the police tell them hey, yeah, you're going to jail. And also we now know, because of your calling card of leaving the water on, we know all the houses you hit. So good job there.
Nice. Great work.
The night that Kevin has prepped for Harry and Marv.
Their arrival.
He's eating a dinner. He's at his little candles at the big dining room table, and he's eating a big bowl of mac and cheese with milk. And then the clock strikes, and he knows it's time. He blows out the candle.
Treat yourself, King.
Do you remember the early phases of living alone and being an adult feel very much like Kevin figuring out how to live alone for the first time?
Oh my gosh, yes. You're just well, this is my reality now, so I guess I gotta take care of everything.
Yeah. We all relate to Kevin at some point in our lives.
I love it. I love it so much.
Also, if you stepped on a nail, why aren't you leaving? Harry steps on a nail with his bare feet.
Why wouldn't you leave when you friggin' burn your hand in the beginning?
Or get flame torched? No, fair. For their pride.
Insanity. I think they just really develop a deep hatred for Kevin like everyone else in his life.
Yes. Please. Please. And in between all this, there was some stuff with the old man. Kevin sees the old man later at a church that he walks into when he's feeling alone.
Kevin gives the old man some life advice.
He does. He's like, call your
Spits
son.
some wisdom.
Call your son that you haven't talked to in years.
He's like, man, that's your son. You got to call him.
And he was like, honestly, for being so old, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, you ain't got much life to live, sir.
And then that ends up coming back around later. At the very end of the movie, Kevin is looking out the window and sees that his next door neighbor has been reunited with his son.
And granddaughter.
Which is so sweet. in between Kevin, like, trying to find God, he also tries to find Santa. And he finds this man, he's like, "Listen, I know you're not the real Santa Claus, but I
He's
do
like,
know."
I'm 8. I know how this works.
Yeah, he's like, "I know you're not real, but that you know the real one, so can you give them a message like, I want my family for Christmas, that's all I want."
Then he gives him Tic Tacs or something like that. I think it is Tic Tacs.
The Santa does?
Yeah, because he's like, I'm supposed to give you a candy cane. You can't see Santa without me giving you something.
He's like, "Here
And
you
I
go."
think he gives him mints.
That's so funny. He's like, "Close enough, close enough." After this chaotic night of facing these burglars, getting them arrested, I seemingly cleaning up most of the house from the
Yeah,
mess he made.
how does the house get clean? Because I feel like I don't remember it being.
No, because I mean, at one point, he literally blew feathers on one of the characters after, like, them walking through honey.
Yeah.
So it's like, this was like, I mean, he put sticky stuff on the stairs, there were toys everywhere, and then when the next morning when his family finally arrives, I'm like, "Wait, it's pretty clean," except for the fact that the older brother screams, "Kevin, what did you do to my room?" So I guess he
Fair.
couldn't reassemble the shelves that broke.
Fair.
But I'm like, "Did this 8-year-old stay up all night cleaning the house?"
He was the man of the house. He had to take care of it.
Oh my gosh. Remember when he goes and gets a small Christmas tree?
I know, it's so sweet. It's the cutest thing ever.
He sets it all up and decorates it.
That's when he sees the Merv and Harry in the reflection of like he's like putting the ornaments on. And
yes.
then that's when he does the "What was that, Dad?"
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is where you got that from.
He's trying to pretend that his dad's home.
Yeah.
Marv and Harry. Yeah. Is it Marv and Harry?
Merv or Marv? We still can't
We'll
respect
never
them
get
enough.
their names.
All right, as we're starting to wrap up, there is one quote that was earlier on that I would be failing myself if I didn't mention, which is going back to when Kevin's going through Buzz's things, and he's just like going through the trunk of all the things where the magazines are and stuff, and then he just pulls out a picture and he goes, "Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof."
Please.
And they quote that all. I feel like that's one of those like weird quotes. Like it's not actually relevant to anything. "Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof."
Not the wolf.
And I'm
Please.
pretty sure that the picture that they show is of like a little boy in a wig or something because they didn't want to have like an actual little girl
that they're like,
yeah, that they're
making
roasting.
fun. It's just Buzz in a wig.
But I'm pretty sure that's like was like a little fun fact for you. It may be false, but it's a fun fact.
My final thought after everything, once he's finally reunited with his family and they ask him, like, "What'd you do while we were gone?" He's like, "Oh, not much." And they were like, "Kevin, you went to the store and got milk and eggs." He's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, haha, Kevin, you're so funny." I'm just like, you're not going to tell them? You're not going to share anything with them?
Are the cops not gonna come by and be like, "Yo,
File this report?
yeah"?
Like, I don't understand. That is the most confusing part to me, that he just like moves on with it. He's like, "Oh, you'll never know." And then the dad finds like the gold tooth that got knocked out from one of the
Yes.
burglars at the end.
Harry's
like,
Harry's
"Honey."
gold tooth.
"Honey, what is this?" I was like,
Crazy.
why doesn't he tell them? But it was all a dream. It never happened. That's why the house was so clean.
Please. He just had a psychotic break.
He thought they were coming after him and they weren't.
Oh.
Day 4 of being home alone.
My fun fact was correct about Buzz's girlfriend.
Is actually the same actor?
It's not the same actor. It's just a boy in a wig.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what a great film.
Honestly, holds up.
I can't speak for 3 on, but 1 and 2 are good.
Dude, why did they keep making
They keep
them?
making them.
Let's
Like there's
not,
a
yeah.
recent one.
Like within the last 3 years?
Yeah, I
Recent?
think so.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure like
What
on
is that,
Disney
Home Alone
Plus.
8 at this point?
Who's watching these? Also, how are we still leaving these kids alone?
Yeah.
When you watch the first Home Alone, like I think Ted was telling me this, but he was like talking about like some tweet or something that was like, "Find a plot hole in Home Alone. You can't." But like if you think about it, like all the things that happen, as far as, like, his parents not being able to contact him or, like, reach out to him are pretty realistic for the time because there wasn't, like, security
No.
things, there wasn't, like,
That's what I'm
all these
saying.
things,
This
like,
doesn't happen today
it
with
doesn't
the
happen
technology we
today with the
have, yeah.
technology. So it would be interesting to see how they do these films, like, having the technology that we have nowadays.
Oh, yes, 'cause the new Home Alones are set in modern days.
Yeah,
Why the heck are they Home Alone?
exactly.
Home Alone, Lost in New York better than the first? I need to rewatch, but I remember that one. I I remember
No,
loving
I
that
don't
one.
think so.
No.
I think it's good, but I don't think it's better than the first one. I feel like it's hard to beat the first one. 'Cause I feel like the second one becomes a little bit less the first one's, like, super realistic, but less realistic.
Yeah, less grounded or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like, it feels more like fantasy. It's like, "Okay, why are Harry and Marv, like, still trying to come after him?" Like, it's just, like, it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
a
yeah,
little,
yeah.
like yeah. It's a sweet movie, like, with the pigeon lady.
And the pizza and the
And
limousine.
yeah, like, I feel like it's a fun movie, but I wouldn't say it's better.
Yeah, it's more just a good advertisement for the plaza. Isn't that where he ends up staying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, all the best Christmas movies are at the plaza.
So the one that Trump's in?
Oh, Trump's in Home Alone too? That's so random! Actors can't be presidents anymore, just based off their track history.
Based off the McCulkin of it all. Sorry, it's 'cause he's a track history. Like, track record.
Oh, track record. It's based off their track record. Damn it.
It's the McCulkin of it all.
Well, that wraps up our first holiday watch through of the season. We hoped you enjoyed our deep dive on Home Alone.
It was a
Yeah,
journey.
it was a journey.
We'd love to hear some of your favorite quotes because I feel like it is a very quotable movie.
It really is. And as always, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, comment, all of that good stuff. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.